Hey, I'm Virgo and this is Psychedelic Actualization. On this channel we talk about topics like self-realization, self-actualization and working with psychedelics to live a more authentic and fulfilling life. So if you're interested in these kinds of topics, subscribe to the channel and join our Facebook group. So today I want to talk about the topic of conviction, of being convinced and committed in combination and in balance with flexibility and adaptation. So it's a pretty interesting topic. It's a pretty interesting mindset that I've observed in myself that helped me to achieve something or to follow through on something. For example, if you have the dream to travel the world or to go to Australia, to go to Japan, to go and explore that country, then that conviction helps to just be in the mindset of it's got to happen that way, no matter what. It's gotta happen. It already happened. Kind of put it into the past maybe a little bit, but just be 100% convinced with all of your consciousness that it's got to happen that way. If you want to stop eating meat, then you convince yourself and you commit to something that it's got to happen that way, that there's no other way that it could happen otherwise. Or if you want to do nofap, it's got to happen that way. If you want to, and so the list goes on. Even in spiritual practice and with habits, it's pretty helpful to be committed and convinced, have that conviction and devotion and dedication towards a thing that you plan to do, that you know is good for you. Maybe with the habits, with the meditation, with the daily meditation, you just are committed to it and you say to yourself, it's got to happen that way. It's a priority, And for example, also with creating, it's got to happen that way, that I want to practice that instrument to realize my life purpose. It's got to happen that way, that I am shooting a video right now because I want to share my insights with you, and that is I want to be valuable in a sense. So that's a pretty interesting thing. And also in combination with the balance and the flexibility and the adaptation, sometimes you do fall back or something isn't going the way you wanted it to go, even if you were convinced that you were not going to eat meat and you still did. Then be in the don't think about it when you're convinced. Don't worry about it that it's gotta happen. But when it happens, you can just adapt to the situation, be flexible, forgive yourself, and be still convinced and move on with it. And another thing with the flexibility and the adaptation is, for example, we are capable of so much more of what we think we are capable of. So we can just book the flight to the country, even if we have just a little bit of money saved up. We can book the flight, we can go there and explore it, and then we are in a survival hardcore situation maybe, but we are capable of adapting to that circumstance and be able to find a solution while we are in that hardcore situation. And that goes with everything. Book the meditation retreat, book the flight or the ticket to a concert or something that you know is valuable for you. Just to jump into it and be convinced that it's got to happen that way and there's no other way. So that's a pretty interesting mindset that I've observed for myself, that it works out not always, but sometimes I get into the flow of something or something that I'm convinced and committed to. It just becomes a habit or a routine that I do, and so it just flows a little bit, and it's a balance of being still being realistic about something, but also putting yourself out there and going out into these uncomfortable situations where you challenge yourself to adapt to the situation, because that's like how we grow, and that's like how we experience these beautiful adventures of life that are making our lives worth living. So that's all that I wanted to share with you today. Have that conviction, be like committed to a dream, to a plan, and then follow through on it no matter what. And like be in the mindset of it's got to happen that way no matter what. It's just got to happen that way. And there's no other way. Like it's just a one-way road, maybe. So interesting topic. Write down in the comment section what you think about it, and follow me on that channel. Also, a little side note maybe with the psychedelic side of it, like still be respectful and like be in the state of being humble because I mean, you can like say, I'm gonna eat the 10 grams of dried mushrooms and it's got to happen that way, but then you have to be flexible and adapt in a sense that you gotta deal with the consequences, and the consequences of some situations, for example eating 10 grams of mushrooms without preparation, it can humble you a lot, and it can maybe even traumatize you in a way that isn't the best way for your growth. So still be like, just use common sense about stuff, you know? But like with simple stuff like being convinced and being confident that you will get that new job that you want to get into. So be convinced, follow through on it, and try again and again and again and again, so that it's got to happen that way no matter what. Just like don't leave a choice. Much love, thank you for watching. I will see you in the next one. Aho.